call is important to us and will be answered
Ringing
by
up Christopher Browel.
Please note that your call may be recorded for monitoring and training purposes.
Good afternoon, single point of access again speaking. How may I help?
Hi, Sagir. It's Mr. Hussain here. We spoke yesterday. I wanted to get in touch with Christopher Browel. It's regarding my brother, Mr. Talib Hussain, date of birth 15/9/1960.
16/9/1960.
15/9/1960.
Just bear with me a moment, please, Mr. Hussain.
Okay.
Can I take the best number to give you a call back on, please?
No.
Okay. Did you say regarding Christopher Browell? It was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, I want to speak to Christopher Browel, but it's regarding my brother, Mr. Talib Hussain.
No, that's absolutely fine. I'll just bear with me one moment. Chris Browell. I'm just going to transfer you over to Chris Browell now, please. Bear with me.
Thank you.
Bear with me. Hi, Shazad.
Hello, Mr. Browel. How are we doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Obviously, I'm just trying to get something resolved with yourself, and it seems to be going on and on. So what kind of update have you got for us since we last spoke?
Well, all I can say is that they're not prepared to release the balance. So that's what they've said.
Okay, all right. So basically, you wrote out to us. No. You wrote out to us, and upon that letter, I've responded to yourself. And after I've responded to yourself, you've contacted Mr. Mullah, who said that my brother should write in and sign a letter. So that was just a red herring, wasn't it? Then.
I can't speak on Mr. Muller's behalf. That's what he said, and you said that a letter wouldn't be possible, or Talib wouldn't be signing a letter. And then I've gone back to them to say that, and they've said,
No. No, that's not. No, that's not correct, is it? I mean, are you trying to say that if my brother signs a letter that they're prepared to give the balance?
I'm telling you what I was told.
Okay, no, but is that the case? Do you understand that if my brother signs a letter, right? I'm just, can you understand? I'm just trying to understand here, because my brother, there's no need. It's not a formality. It's not a legal process, is it? That things have to be in writing. My brother's told you verbally, asked you verbally what the balance is. Yes, they said no. You need to put it in writing and sign it. I did not say he's not prepared to do that. I said what he has done is he's already signed over. It's a bit like beating a dead donkey. How many times do you have to do it? If he's going to sign anything, he's going to sign over authority for me to act on his behalf, which you're not accepting. So why would you accept a letter? It just seems very convoluted. And now you've gone back and you've spoken to them and they're not prepared to give a balance. Now, can you understand how, if you're not even prepared to give a balance, then what benefit, how can you say that you're looking to like act in my brother's best interest? My brother has a right to know, does he not?
Apparently, people with appointeeships, they're not, as standard process, they're not informed of their balance, because in those situations, people will then say then they want to take that full amount of balance, withdraw that.
So what?
I think
No, just hold on a second. You know, like it's a bit like going to the bank. Is that a bit like putting? You know, that just doesn't make sense, Mr. Browell. When you get paid a wage, you put it in the bank, and the bank says, "No, we can't tell you. You might take all the money out." That doesn't make any sense, Mr. Browell. Come on, that doesn't make. If you go.
Another one of my service users that I work with who's got appointeeship, that's the same with them as well.
It doesn't matter, Mr. Browell. I don't care about other people's circumstances. Obviously, my brother Talib has asked for some information. All right, and you're saying that you're not prepared to release his balance to him. All right, and
no, I'm not saying that. I said that I'd ask. You'd ask me, and I asked on your behalf, and that was. And I told you I'm not the appointee, so that's what I was told.
yeah, okay. So hold on. Can you just leave it there? Yeah. Delivery guy. So where do you go from here? You're not prepared to give us a balance. How do you know that you got stolen the money? And once again, you made it quite clear that how have you become the appointee? Alright? You become the appointee. The group is not authorized that appointeeship. You become the appointee to a deputyship by being his deputy. His deputyship is still in court. That's been contested. So, you know, you're just basically giving us a running around really, aren't you? I mean, what is stopping you, the local authority, embezzling Talib's money? Look, he doesn't know. I mean, like, the thing is, it's his money. Then it's not his money, is it? Then it's your money then. Like, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. If it's his money, you're saying it's his money, and you can only get access to £250. Yeah, and what does that mean is Talib's money if he has no control over it, and he has got no access to it? And he said, no, we're giving him access to it, but you can have only £250. And then you're giving some more money, but you can understand that the control is with you, isn't it? At any stage, if we are non-compliant, you can stop the money to your arbitrary decision. So it's not his money, it's your money. Alright? You've basically just taken over his money. And now what I need to understand is how have you done that if the person does not lack mental capacity? And that is that's the whole situation. So, you know, where do we go? It's not going to be the court, is it? It's not going to be the court. What's going to be the court? What happened is that what happened is the local authority tried to malevolently get it established that my brother lacks mental capacity in order to justify your present position. You can't do that for several reasons. One of the reasons is that he's already had an independent mental capacity assessment carried out, which I've paid for, out of my own pocket, over £500, which cannot be contested. So that's not going to happen. Right? So there is no avenue to get a mental capacity assessment done. He's already had a mental capacity assessment done. That says that he has mental capacity. Alright? So the situation in the court is the matter is going to be staying like this. There's no progression, is it? Because what happened in February, you were forcibly trying to carry out a mental capacity assessment with Dr. Todd. That didn't happen. Alright? So now it's coming to September. No progress is going to be made. Nothing's going to happen. What happened from February to now? No, nothing's going to happen because what was happening was that it was forcibly going to be railroaded through that my brother lacks mental capacity, just like in my mom's case. Alright? Oh, she lacks mental capacity because she's got dementia. Okay. Alright. That was a crazy situation regarding Dr. Todd as well. And he assessed my mom while she was asleep. You know you can't do that. going to assess my brother. That's not going to happen. That cannot happen. That has no validity. There's already things in place. So, you know, so he's not going to, so basically right now, so we can leave it at this, that he's just not going to get access to his benefit money. End of. No, that's not access. You're basically telling him you're going to give you £250 of your own money. And who are you going to give it to? Okay, and what's Talib going to do with it? Yeah, and so what have he said to you? What does he want to do with his money? What he said to you? Did he not say give it to me? But no, it's not on the record. You know, it's like, what happens is that tomorrow when you leave somebody, if he tells you today and you have it fully established that, oh, look, he's telling you this, then they'll say, oh, we don't want the situation, so they'll replace you with somebody else. Alright, then you that next person say, I didn't hear that. Is it not clearly recorded that last year when Balgit Nota and some MHT attended the door, and on numerous previous occasions, we've had video recordings of him saying it, we've had video, we've got video evidence for you fully established that. So right now, it's not even been established that Talib has wants his money to be given to me. That's not been established, Gary. No, I'm asking you a simple question. Has that over the last 5 years not been established as yet that Talib has consistently said that I want to give my money to Siddharth? Oh, okay, all right. So that's still not been established. So this is what it is. Just giving us basically red tape and just basically giving us bureaucratic loophole, bureaucratic hurdles to jump and stuff. Talib has, I've been looking after Talib's finances since I believe for the last 20 years. That's why he wants you to look after his finances for the last 20 years. He's not complaining to you saying I don't want him to look after my money, so you can then take legal action against him and take that money away from him. Alright? He's not done any of that. He's been very persistent and consistent. Alright? I want my brother to take care of him. And why does he want his brother to take care of him? Because I'm spending money on him. Alright? In the absence of you controlling them, you said that, look, what is, it's very, very infuriating because you're a local authority and you're acting with such criminality, such malevolence. Alright? And it's just shocking that, where do we go from here? You told me that it's Talib's money, give it to Talib. You're saying we're not even paying the balance. Alright? So where do we go from here then? No, legal advice about what? You're doing something criminal, alright, and what's the legal advice you tell me? You know, the thing is, what's the point of me wasting my time and resources, taking legal advice from a solicitor, paying them through either legal aid or through my own limited resources, when you, the local authority, just buy up the goods? What is the point of legal advice when you, the local authority, take public money to buy up the goods? You tell me. No, so basically, you just screw Talib over, innit? You just said you screwed him over, alright? You stolen all his money. And you're saying they give him money, they give you the money. You're not even writing to me either, you're writing to Talib, expecting him to respond. When he, has disabilities, I mean, juggling functioning and having the hand feed him, alright? He's so distressed that he's murdered his mother, alright? He knows all this, he knows everything, he understands everything. And you, the local authority, want to force to your narrative and agenda. And your narrative and agenda is this, that you are benevolent, I am malevolent. Alright? I'm the bad guy, I'm the criminal, I'm the abuser, and you're the local authority, you're beyond reproach. Is that correct? So ultimately you're beyond, you're kind of seen it and seen out there. You're a local authority. You cannot do any wrong, can you? Yeah, look, is the local authority accountable? The local authority, Bradford Council, is it accountable to anybody? That's right, you're right, but no, but you go to the courts when the courts are supposed to be independent. But do you understand that the local authority, they're not accountable to the police, are they? No, I'm just, come on, you're an intelligent person, but look, the police can't come and arrest the Bradford Council, can they? They can't put Bradford Council into jail, can they? No. And who pays for Bradford, and who pays for Westminster Police? Who pays the wages? Is it not Bradford Council that pays part of the wages? Yeah. So they get money from Bradford Council in order to, police the area. So they can't go against their own. They can't bite the hand that feeds them. So the police can't get involved. No, but the judges. Who pays the judges? They're meant to be independent. But quite clearly, this situation has arisen because the local authority, appoint judges and malevolently and get an outcome that they want. And so, I'm really struggling. So you're saying that the local authority, and this is an argument discussion how the Department of Work and Public, they say, oh, Bradford Council can't do anything criminal. They're beyond reproach. Bradford Council is held liable, all right, for my mother's murder, which is not, no interest is taken place. So, because obviously, who pays for the interest cost? Bradford Council does. Can I ask, do you live in Bradford? Were you born and bred in Bradford? Okay. So you're a Bradfordian, like I'm a Bradfordian. Alright, okay. So, I don't know if you're aware of this. How many cities do you think there are in the UK? Approximately, how much did you say? Maybe like 200, 300? Alright. How many cities would you say that there are across in Europe? Yeah? Okay, alright, let's say 2,000. Do you know that Bradford has recently been voted, or a survey has been carried out as the crime capital of Europe? Okay. So Bradford City has come number one. So you as a Bradfordian and I as a Bradfordian should be proud of this, no? That we have become number one as the crime capital of Europe. Yeah. Well, this is so here you are as a local authority claiming that no, they are reports, and this is an independent report carried out, which I'm sure you can Google, all right? I'm sure you can. Claiming the fact that you're a criminal organization, you're causing us great deal of distress and anxiety, and you've obviously kidnapped my brother Talib, you've murdered my brother Nazim, you've murdered my father, you've just murdered my mother, and you keep on claiming that you're beyond reproach and you're beyond everything like this. But the reality is that we're in this situation, and I don't know what to say and where to go from here.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I don't know how much influence I can affect on anything really. Like I said, I'm just a care coordinator, so I'm not a spokesperson as such for the local authority.
But you're there.
Even though I am employed by them.
No,
So
but you.
yeah, my main role is to just try if I can see Talib and make sure that he's okay, really, because obviously I work for the mental health team.
But he's been discharged from the mental health team, though.
He was discharged from the care of the consultant psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Still allocated a care coordinator.
But what's the purpose of the care coordinator other than to effectively monitor me through Talib? Because what are you monitoring? You know, he's got a housing association issue, all right? Can be made homeless. Oh, just another issue, another point that's arisen. What influence have you had with this GP? Because the GP won't talk to me anymore.
The GP won't talk to you?
No.
Is this in Oldham?
Yeah.
I've no idea. I'm not sure.
No, come on, that's not right, is it? Because you had a clandestine meeting with them, all right? I rang them up and they give it. You've got no access to your brother's record when previously they made fulfilled a subject access request.
Okay. Is it because Talib's now in Bradford, or?
No, the question I wanted to ask is who knows it? How does his GP know that Talib's in Bradford? I didn't tell him. Talib didn't tell him.
Talib is in Bradford, so.
Irrespective, who told them though?
I'm not sure who exactly told
Well, it's very important, isn't it? It's very, very important. Who knew that Talib's in Bradford other than me and Talib and you, Bradford Council? Did money? Did
communication with services in Oldham, and when he moved out of Bradford, they would want to know where he is, and if they're still, if it's still in Oldham to be his GP.
No, Mr. Browell, with respect, it's a very simple question. This is, his records have been updated where we're getting letters from the Oldham District Care Trust regarding a screening of his diabetes. We had this discussion before. And what surprised me is that not only is the GP being informed, but also the equivalent of Bradford District Care Trust in Oldham, which is the trust in the mental health trust in Oldham, that he's moved. But surely that you don't have a right to say that. Who has? I'm just struggling here because of this influence, the local authorities' influence into my brother Talib's medical records. They're no longer willing to speak to me. All right. And this is not the first time that this has happened. This is like an ongoing theme. This is exactly what happened in my mum's case. This is what has happened previously. The local authority, have a back door to the GPs and instruct them on what to do. And then on this side, you're telling me that I need to register my brother with a GP in Bradford. Well, since you're so concerned, why don't you do it? Why don't you register my brother with a GP in Bradford?
I'm not sure if we're able to.
Exactly. You're not able to, are you? You're not freaking able to. You cannot do any of this stuff because that's what the law says. The law does not allow you to register. It's either the patient or the patient's representative. And what you can't do is legally register my brother without any legal court orders. You have not instigated care proceedings. You've only instigated financial proceedings. The matter is in court today regarding his finances, not his care proceedings, as in the case of my mother. Because in the case of my mother, you were doing exactly the same thing. You wanted me to register my mother, and as soon as I register my mother, you say there's a safeguarding alert and take over. So now this is the standoff situation because you can't even register my brother with a GP without my involvement, and yet at the same time you've removed my lasting power of attorney for health and welfare. So tell me what situation have you left my brother in? What situation? He's got no access to his money and no access to any healthcare, any of his medication, any kind of doctor support. Something that anybody in the UK can have. Everybody has a legal entitlement to see a GP. My brother can't go see a GP without me, and you can't take him, and you've got no legal right to do so. So where does that leave us? And then you're telling the GPs, don't talk to me. How can I have a relationship as a third party acting on my brother's behalf when you're sabotaging all my relationships?
If you wanted to register talent with the Browell GP, then that wouldn't be effective. You'd be able to register with him, wouldn't you?
But can you register my brother Talib?
No.
That's right. But then when I do register them, you can't interfere in that relationship, can't you? Yes, you can, because he was previously at Sun Valley. You, the local authority, interfered with that relationship. I told Sun Valley to make a referral for him to have a mental capacity assessment, knowing the fact that I had privately already carried out a mental capacity assessment. You, the council instructed his GP in Oldham not to defer that, to not make that referral happen, because you wanted Dr. Todd, who you, the local authority, had privately commissioned for a predetermined outcome that my brother lacks mental capacity. So you interfered in that patient-doctor relationship. Because there's a patient, my brother Talib, there's a doctor, the GP, and I act as a third-party representative. Who the hell are you to interfere into that relationship? And how, on to this day, I'm trying to determine how have you interfered in that relationship. And the only information that I have got, you yourself have simply said the word safeguarding, like a hack code. So you can just say safeguarding, all right, and get into his medical records and do what you like. Go and say safeguarding and register him now.
I don't think it's about getting into medical records. It's more like communicating with people from a GP service. So it's not necessarily.
Yes, but when you. Yes, but when you communicate with them, but when you communicate with them, you tell them, do you know his brother's been criminally convicted? All right. Do you know Shahzad, or whoever's his carer has gone to jail and been criminally convicted, and he's not acting in his brother's best interest, which sets the GPs against me. All right. So you interfere in that relationship because you go and tell them that, look, he's not acting in his best interest. We're the local authority. So you interfere in that relationship. And you've done it on multiple occasions. You did it at Faro Medical Center. You did it at Peel Park Surgery in Bradford. You did it at Dr. Kara Surgery in Bradford. All right, all three surgeries in Bradford. So when we've moved to Oldham, you've interfered twice. You know, in my mother's case with Greenbank, and now second time in my brother's case, and then also with Sun Valley. So it doesn't matter where we register. It doesn't matter what GP we get. The outcome is always the same. You come along as a local authority saying under safeguarding, he's a protected person. Do you know that Shahzad is a criminal? He's done all this stuff, all right? Which then, obviously, the local authority, the GPs then are put into a position, all right? That's detrimental to me. That's detrimental to my brother, but it's to your advantage. So look. There is no data protection. Trust me, when you, the local authority, are going around murdering people, do you think you care about the data protection laws? There is no data protection laws, all right? That's just a farce. That's just to fool the public, to convince them that your data is protected. There's ultimate data sharing going on. Because tell me this, please explain to me why my relationship with the GP Talib's GP in Oldham has broken down. They won't even talk to me anymore. All right. They're saying your access has been denied. Who's told him to deny access when I'm his carer and I'm the one that would have registered him, that has all his information, that facilitates his care, that facilitates his medication, that facilitates his interactions with the professionals and the health service? Why has my right been removed? And they have said, because of invalid lasting power of attorney. What's that got to do with anything? So you have interfered. You have told them that the lasting power of attorney is being contested, is in court, it's not valid. So that gives them the pretext to say, oh, well, there's no valid lasting power of attorney, so we can't talk to you. And my argument is that, why are you talking about the lasting power of attorney? Because he has capacity and he's given me authority. So you've interfered, as you normally do, as you always do, interfere in other people's relationships in order to best advantage yourself, in order so you can financially plunder and profiteer. You're a criminal organization. You are a mafia cartel, fascist criminal organization that are exploiting the vulnerable and weak people of Bradford. And then you go around telling people that you're a benevolent local authority that needs to get respected. And when external third parties are identifying Bradford Council or Bradford as the most dangerous city in Europe, English city declared most dangerous in Europe, came out on the 20th of August 2022. The second most dangerous is also in our country. Number one is Bradford, second one is Coventry. All right. So tell me where do we go from here? You're saying you want to visit Talib. Talib understands that you've murdered his mother. All right. He understands that. You made no provisions for Talib in order to see his mother in the last 3. All right. So you can't register my brother to another GP. Why did you not facilitate my brother visiting his mother in the last year of her life?
Yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with me. I wasn't working with Talib.
But yeah, but that's quite convenient for you to say that it doesn't have anything to do with me personally. But it has to do with Bradford Council. Bradford Council kicked both me and my brother out of the house. All right, took over, unlawfully, forcibly taking care of our mother. Would not let us see us. Would not let me see my mother. But Why would you not facilitate Talib's access to his own mother?
I can't comment on that because I don't know anything about it.
But that is a fact, isn't it? I mean, look, I'm telling you, he didn't get to see his own mother for the last 335 days of her life in Bradford. Right? So, so let's look at it from Talib's perspective. Talib did not get to see his own mother for the last 335 days of her life. She was murdered in your care and custody, and which you're all denying now, or which you're not even willing to talk about. You've taken over his money. You won't let him know what the balance of his money is. All right, and you've stripped him of access to any medication or the mental or the NHS and stuff. And then you're saying you want to come and see Talib and say, "Hello, Talib, how are you doing?" All right, after you screwed him over. And then you're blaming everything on me that I'm preventing this and I'm doing that, and you're abusing your position of authority. Now, look, Mr. Browell, we can stand here, I can go on like this for another hour, 2 hours, all right? But you got other things to do. I've got other things to do. Where do we leave things now?
I don't know, to be honest with you, Dad. I'm not sure where we can leave things really.
He's got no access to any money. He's got no access to any social care support services. He's got no access to any NHS services. All right. He's got no access, no security of accommodation. So no money, no accommodation, no health service, no support plan, nothing. He's got nothing, hasn't he? He's got absolutely nothing. And you have played an active role and involvement in Talib's youth health authority, mental health, city mental health team, whatever. You played an active role. It's not the case that we've gone off the radar anywhere. We've been right here. You've been pursuing this through the courts and stuff. So he's got nothing. And you're saying, well, it's fiddling your thumb, saying, oh, no. So this is one of the reasons. Now, can you understand that a vulnerable person, your client, Talib, all right, is getting no access to his own money, got no access to any healthcare services, he's not receiving anything, is he? He requires incontinent pads, all right? He's not getting access to any incontinent pads as well. He requires, he has medication issues. Nothing. He's getting nothing. No money, no access to any healthcare, no security of accommodation. You're not even willing to write a letter in support of Talib remaining at his home here, where he's lived here since 2005. You're not even willing to write a support letter to that. Because the reality is that you, the council, are instructing Manningham Housing to kick us out. So, what is it that you're waiting for? Are you just waiting for like a crisis to happen? Is that it? Is that why we're leaving the matter?
Sorry, what was that?
I said, are we leaving the situation until a crisis happens? So you can blame me and clean your hands and once again go on to the situation of having being a local authority and acting with benevolence, telling everybody you're acting with benevolence and it's not your fault, it's all my fault. Where are we leaving things? I contacted you, Mr. Browell, because you wrote a letter or you were asked to translate a letter. Can you tell me who wrote the letter?
There's not one person that wrote it. It's from, I believe it was from the local authority.
Yeah, I know it's from the local authority, but which person?
I mean, it's whoever it was addressed from. It wouldn't be up to me to tell me to say who has wrote that letter because I don't see what difference it would make.
It would make a big difference because it would give me a person's name, wouldn't it? Other than a local authority. All right, you're not even willing to give me the name of the person who wrote a letter to Talib. All right, because it does not give a person's name. If it doesn't give it a person's name, somebody must have wrote the letter because you were told to translate it into Urdu. So this is what instigated this situation. Basically, you've screwed me over, you've screwed our family over, you've murdered our mother, you've murdered our brother, you've murdered our father, just so you can financially profiteer and plunder and look to hold yourself to the public as a benevolent organization when other people, not me, but other researchers are saying you're the most dangerous city in the UK. And is that not the case? Have I not been saying exactly the same thing? Now, what is being pelted out is that the reason it may be a dangerous city in the UK is because of a high percentage of migrants or immigrants coming into this country, particularly of immigrants of the South Asian variety, particularly Pakistanis. So one of the reasons that it might be touted that we're the most dangerous city in the whole of Europe is because we have a high percentage of Pakistani people living in Bradford. All right? And it's the Pakistanis that are the criminal element in this society, namely people like me, because you've criminalized me as a fraudster. No doubt all the other Pakistanis in the city are the contributing factor to this city being one of the most dangerous cities to live in. Yeah, that's it, isn't it, Mr. Browell? It's the Pakistanis' fault, all right? It's got nothing to do with the fact that the Bradford Council, the villainy of the Bradford Council has got nothing to do with the fact that it's one of the most dangerous cities in the whole of Europe. We're not resolving anything, Mr. Browell. This is a waste of my time. It's a waste of your time. Nothing's going to get resolved until somebody dies. Just like in my mum's case. You've just murdered our mother. Nobody's giving me any answers. So, once again, I'm pleading with you, Mr. Browell. Where should we leave things? Let me see. What you would like is you would like to call back in 2 weeks' time to monitor the situation, whether we've died or not. Is that right? Was that your preference?
I can call back in 2 weeks' time.
Exactly. That's right. And in 2 weeks' time, what would you like to do? Would you like to offer us £250? Because are we that desperate in 2 weeks' time that we may take the £250? Is that right?
Well, of course, if you want to kind of re-establish Sally's access to his money, then...
What is wrong with you? How many times do we have to tell you, go fuck yourselves, we don't want the money under these circumstances? You keep on saying that, all right, we'll wait for another 2 weeks. You know what's going to happen? Talib's going to die, all right? He's going to end up dying. And you're going to be responsible. And you're going to charge you £1 billion, just like I'm charging for my mum £1 billion. What is wrong with you? We don't accept this. Because you have no legal right to his money. You have bribed and prostituted out the judiciary. District Judge Beckley is a prostituting whore whose services you bought out like a little rent boy. There's no order in place that allows you to do this because my brother has mental capacity. We will not be taking the £250 from you. What we will be doing, what I will be doing is taking £1 million a week from you. That's what I'll be doing. All right? That's what's going to happen. We're not going to take the £250, right? It's not your money to give us. It's Talib's money. You keep on saying it's Talib's money, but you won't even tell him what balance it is. Then you're writing letters to Talib and anonymously and saying it's Bradford Council. You're not even telling us what person it is. Who wrote the letter? Was it Kirsten England? Who was it? Was it Ian McKenna? Who was it? It was clearly not Parveen Akhtar. She's left. So who wrote the letter to us? You're saying we're not even at liberty to tell you who's writing to Talib. We're not even at liberty to tell you what balance we're accumulating. He's not had access to his money for the last, God knows how long, several years now. You're not looking to resolve anything. You're just looking to piss me off. You're looking to antagonize me into doing something, all right? And then you're gonna come along and say, look, we told you. It's the Pakistanis, isn't it? He's a Pakistani. He's doing all this stuff. We are civilized. He's acting like a brute. And is this civility when you're violating your own laws? I want to know, Mr. Browell, why should I take a call from you in 2 weeks' time?
You don't have to, Shazad, because I don't know what progress we'll get anyway.
Yes, that's right. You're right. It's just a waste of my time, innit? It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of my time. What you want me to do is you want me to get a solicitor. You want me to take legal action so you can bribe the solicitor and buy off the judge in order to cover up what you're doing. That's what the local authority wants me to do. And you know what? I never do what the local authority wants me to do. I'll find some alternative ways to deal with the situation. But can you understand? When the judiciary, when the judges are nothing more than rent boys, prostituting little whores that are selling out their services to the local authority, then the whole rule of law is undermined. All right? There is no law. You can't tell me, oh, well, you can get a solicitor, there's some justice. There's no justice. You are acting in a malevolent manner. It is your duty of care. Hence why. Can you understand why under these circumstances I would be charging you money? Because you're just saving money, aren't you? You're basically exploiting my labor, getting me to look after Talib, and then saying I should not get paid anything. Look, Mr. Browell, am I going to be able to speak to somebody more senior? Who is it up to? I mean, you're a relayer, innit? You told me you're here to relay information from the council to me. You're saying you don't represent them, so who represents the council?
With the greatest respect, answer your questions. I'm unable to answer the questions, and it's not really part of my role.
But Talib has been discharged from the mental health center. He does not have any mental health needs, does he now?
I think that could be argued. I think he's got a diagnosis of schizophrenia, which he's not receiving medication, so...
No, but
without anybody seeing Talib, then it's difficult to say what.
Okay, all right. So all right. So that's one argument that you can make. I'm his carer. All right. I'm the one that when he had mental health problems, when he had symptoms of schizophrenia, I'm the one that approached the health doctors. I'm the one that approached the health authorities. I said this person's got a problem. Help him to help me by helping him. All right. So I am a central pivotal role in this. He does not speak English. You do not speak his language. I've played a pivotal role in him receiving care. It is ultimately up to me. All right, and because I am being given a authority of agency for my brother Talib, I know the fact that the reality is this: if my brother presently is not getting his medication, as you state, because you've gone to his GP, and he's not having any mental health problems, what does that say about him having medication? Isn't that true, Mr. Browell? This is the reality: is that this whole schizophrenia is a big scam, isn't it? It's a scam to scam the public purse of money in order to justify your job. Because this is just a fraud, isn't it? This is just a fraud that you guys have established to say this person's got schizophrenia, give him medication so the pharmaceutical industry can profit here and you guys can profit here by getting a job. This is just one big con, isn't it? This is the reality. This is one of the reasons that you're trying to force my brother on medication. My brother has a right to choose. And my brother has a right to say no like everybody else does. You're trying to convince him. Did you not also tell me that my brother's got diabetes?
Does he have diabetes?
You tell me. You've got access to his medical records.
I think there was a query about whether he does have diabetes, but that couldn't be confirmed, I don't think.
Yeah,
So.
that's just bullshit, isn't it? So just like, for example, the fact that my brother's got schizophrenia is you're using him as a mule in order to get money off the government, isn't it? That's the reality of the situation. This is just one big fraud and a scam, isn't it? Because the thing is, he doesn't have schizophrenia. No, he may have had schizophrenia, but the medication that you're putting him on is keeping him ill. Just like Amy Winehouse was singing about, the drugs don't work, they just make it worse. Yeah, your drugs are the problem here. You're profiteering through this criminal enterprise in order to scam money off the public purse, saying you're helping people. You're not helping anybody. You understand? I'm the one that's helping. I'm got my brother's best interest at heart. Now you're telling me, oh, look, he's got diabetes, so you can further control and dominate him. Just like you said, oh, my mum's got dementia, we're trying to help her. How did that turn out? You were trying to help, you, the local authority, were trying to say my mum's got dementia, you were trying to help her, and now you murdered her off. Making decisions on her behalf that's in your best interest. Bottom line that comes, Mr. Browell, is this, that you're saving money, aren't you? Right now, every week that goes by is that not only are you keeping his benefit money, you're saving money on care costs. Mr. Browell, you have other clients. How much does it cost to put Talib in a care home?
Can cost maybe £500-600 a week.
£500-600 a week. And you know he's entitled to care services. Is he not entitled to that? Is he not entitled to be in a care home?
There needs to be an assessment of his care needs, and then obviously if you weren't, if you weren't in agreement to continue caring for him, then there'd be an assessment to see whether Talib would need to be in a
that's not the case. It's not a case of my agreement. Is it not the case that he was whilst he was detained in your care and custody in October 2018? Did you not determine and identify that he needs to go into a care home?
I'm not sure, I wasn't involved in the case.
But you've read his case file, isn't it? You even showed him a care home. You said, look, here's a care home you can go into. And my brother said, no, I don't want to go into a care home. I want to either be cared for by Shazad or my brother Adalat. So that's his choice, isn't it? He has a choice. So he's chosen not. Yeah, he has a choice. And that choice should not be one where you financially profiteer, should it? So if he had chosen in October 2018 to go into a care home, he would have been entitled to get paid £600, wouldn't he?
I wouldn't say he get paid £600. That payment will go to the care home, and then Talib will most likely need to make a contribution to those costs as well.
And is that contribution made on somebody who's on a Section 117?
I think it still needs to.
No, you don't. No, you don't make a contribution if you're out on a Section 117. But irrespective, whether he has to make a contribution or not, he would have been entitled to receive £600 from you, the Bradford, the council, to meet his care needs in a care home, wouldn't he?
When we say he wouldn't receive £600, that will go to the care provider.
Yes, but I said he would have been entitled to receive £600 in care services, wouldn't he? He wouldn't have got the money. Yeah. So
that's true, yeah.
so he would have received £600 a week in care services. He decided not to go in there. He's ended up in my care, and I'm charging £1 million a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what he wants. That he says he wants to go home to be with his mum at the time his mum was here. But how can it be so? So every week that goes by is a net saving to you of £600, isn't it?
If Talib requires to be in a care home and he isn't in a care home, then yeah, I can understand why you're saying that's a net saving, yeah.
Yeah, it is a net saving of £600 a week that you, the Bradford Council, have. Now, in order for, so effectively, because I'm caring for my brother, all right, in this care home that I'm charging £1 million for, if I wasn't, so I'm doing something that you're not paying for, you're not recognizing. So the £600, why would I look to save you, the council's effectively £600, whilst you, the council, have put me into prison and taken away all my money? Why would I do that?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that, you know, you're caring for your brother, aren't you? And you say that that's what is in Talib's best interest.
No, we just wait on a minute, and I've just made it quite clear that I've gone to court and I told you I don't care for free, and brother Adalat's not caring for him, is he?
No.
All right, and brother Adalat's taken all his money, hasn't he?
Okay.
Is that still the case, or have you managed to take money off Adalat yet?
I don't, not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, all right. So Adalat's got over like £90,000 of Talib. He's not caring for him, is he? He's got all the money. And is it not the case that you, the local authority, convicted me of a crime that Adalat's now committing against Talib by not giving him unfettered access to his money? So, you know, not only have you got Talib's money, his benefit money, Talib's got, you know, money that they've taken off me to give to Talib, which Adalat's now got. He's not getting access to that money as well. But coming back to this point, why would I, knowing the fact that I'll be saving you, the council, £600, care for my brother, free of charge, to save you money? Why would I do that? Because you, the local authority, and I clearly don't have a cordial relationship. You falsely put me into prison. So why would I knowingly look to save you money? Why don't I just say, well, screw him. He's not my child. I've got my own life to live. Why don't I just hand him over to you?
I don't know. You'd have to answer that question.
Well, I'm telling you why I don't hand him over, because I'm charging you £1 million. But that's a question that you have to ask. You're trying to say to me that I'm such a nice guy, all right? I'm such a wonderful guy that I love and care for my brother, and I'm caring for him for free while saving you, the council, £600, while you, the council, have said that I'm a villainous person that have been stealing money from Talib and put me into prison. You can't have it both ways. You, the council, can't say you're a nice guy, you're saving the £600 a week, and you're and you love your brother and you're caring for him, and that's we're happy to accept that. When previously you've said that I'm stealing money from him, and put me into prison when he's not complained.
Yeah.
Look, Mr. Browell, we seem to be like not making any headway here. You, the council, they've put you up as a spokesperson. You're the only person I can speak to. You're saying you don't represent the council. You're just here to work as a care coordinator. You can't even tell him what balance. He's asked you a simple question. How much money have you got of mine? The council. You're not going to tell him that. I've told you the fact that he's in my care. I'm charging £1 million. You don't want to acknowledge that. You're not willing to give him access to his benefit money. You're not willing. He's not got access to his any healthcare services. So is this not a situation where we're basically just waiting for Talib to die now?
No, I don't think that's the case. But I agree that we're not really making any progress.
What is Talib meant to live off? What is he gonna be? Where, do you understand that he needs food to eat? So if he's got no access to money, how is he eating?
So we've gone over this conversation before, but if Talib accepts his money, the £250, that money can be increased because ultimately you know, if there's a surplus of money in that account, ultimately it's Talib's money. So I would hope eventually get paid more than 250, not paid, but give them more than £250. So that balance would reduce because it's Talib's money.
But we don't know what the balance is.
Yeah, well, as I said, that's standard process that people have to
Okay,
understand.
is it standard process to starve people? Because the question I asked you was not what can we do going forward. We've told you, we're going to tell you. I'm going to tell you once again hopefully for the final time that Talib will not accept the money. What has Talib said?
You're asking me questions, and I'm giving you the answer.
No, sir. No, with respect. No, I'm not arguing with you. I asked you a specific question. You answered something else. I asked you, what is Talib meant to live off? All right. What is he? What is he supposed to eat? How is he supposed to eat? That was the question. How is he eating? What for the last 18 months? All right, or nearly 2 years. What do you expect him to live off? He's supposed to eat, isn't he? All right, he needs money to food. All right, so what is he supposed to eat? And your answer is that he can accept the £250. I'm not asking what he can do. What do you think he's eating right now?
I don't know.
So
I think you said before that you've had to supplement with your money or something like that.
Okay, all right. So, but where am I supposed to get the money from to feed him?
I don't know.
Yeah. So maybe is that not a concern that your client, you have no understanding how he's eating because you won't give him his money. He's got no access to his money. You keep on forcing 250. Who says £250? Why is it 200? Who set that £250 limit? You did. You decided. All right.
Okay.
You've decided arbitrarily. Right, we're not making. It's just I'll get better look banging my hand against a brick wall because you're just saying no. We don't want to do this. You will not even accept he's got mental capacity. All right, I've given you a report. You're saying no. We don't even want to accept that. We cannot move forward unless you accept that he has a mental capacity. You're not willing to accept that. You're not willing to accept his lasting power of attorneys. You're not willing to accept anything that he's saying that is in my favor or that is to his favor. You're just saying we're only willing to accept things that are in our favor, namely your counsel's favor. And we're saying, well, why? We're not here to work with you to do things in your favor. You've taken his money, right? You've unlawfully convicted me. You've taken £500,000 from my bank account. All right, saying it's all fraudulent when I've told you it's a family trust fund. We've been saving money in order to meet with his ongoing needs. So nothing is getting resolved, Mr. Browell. I can sit here, speak for another hour. Nothing's going to happen, is it? The only option we've got is to accept the £250.
Okay.
That's the only option we've got, isn't it? That's the only thing on the table. We've got £250 that his money that you're gonna give us. You're not gonna tell us how much surplus you're accumulating, how much money he's got. You're not willing to give the money back to the DWP. You're not willing to recognise that he's got mental capacity. You're not willing to write any letters in support of his accommodation. You're not even. All right. Well, let's put it this way. Are you willing to accept that my brother has mental capacity?
I can't make that decision. I haven't completed the mental capacity assessment. I just met him for a few moments.
Well, have I got mental capacity?
If you haven't been assessed not to have capacity, then yeah.
All right. So has Talib been assessed not to have capacity?
I think this is what's being contested and why there was a request for Talib to be seen by Dr. Todd.
Yes, and then what happened is that he was already seen by somebody, wasn't he? He was seen by Nelly Support Services.
Is that the independent capacity assessment?
Independent capacity assessment, yes. Paid out of my pocket, which I've not been remunerated for yet. Yeah, so Dr. Todd is somebody who you paying out of your pocket for, wasn't it? Just like you had done in my mum's case. Dr. Todd is a malevolent fraudster who's basically selling out his services for a price. The outcome that was already determined by District Judge Beckley, all right, who's working closely with Dr. Todd in order to basically plunder. So is it not the case that Dr. Todd and the District Judge Beckley and you, the council, and the public guardian collude and conspire together in order to financially plunder and profiteer from vulnerable people, like you've done in my mum's case, that you're now trying to do in my brother's case? The simple question, that is a fact. That is what's happening here. Whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether you deny it or not. But the bottom line is, have you got any evidence? I mean, look, we cannot move forward unless you agree on something on the basis of the fact that my brother has mental capacity. Nothing's going to happen because you're saying we can't even give him the balance. All right, maybe the other people that you are appointing for don't have mental capacity. My brother has mental capacity. All right, the first principle says that he should be assumed to have mental capacity. So we cannot make any progress because you, the local authority, you know, the bottom line is this, Mr. Browell. You know, and you're an intelligent person. You know the fact that under no circumstances can it be established that my brother has mental capacity. Under no circumstances. All right. Under no Yeah, go on.
No, what were you saying? What are you saying? Sorry.
I'm saying that and I know, under no circumstances can it ever be established that my brother has mental capacity. You, the local authority, will not allow that. You will buy off the judges. You will buy off assessors. You will buy off the GPs. You will even murder somebody. No doubt you may even murder me. But one thing that cannot happen is to establish that Talib has mental capacity. And the reason that you can't do that is because if Talib has mental capacity, then you Bradford Council go bankrupt. So that's what it comes down to. Simple thing. The law says one thing, you the council are doing something against the law. You know, this is one of the reasons that you're not going to accept that my brother has mental capacity. You can't accept that he has mental capacity because if he's got mental capacity, then how can you justify my criminal conviction? So the stand-off position here, Mr. Browell, is this. You're not willing to do anything because you don't want to accept that my brother has mental capacity, which he evidently does have. You can say, well, I have not done a capacity assessment. I don't care if you've done a capacity assessment or not. He's not required to do a mental capacity assessment when a capacity assessment's already been carried out. Numerous assessments have been carried out. You know, you even mentioned to me in 2019, Vasina Brown carried out a mental capacity assessment to determine that he does have mental capacity regarding his residency. A mental capacity was carried out by Nadia Khan at BRI in 2014. When I had threatened to murder him in my care if he was returned into my care, I said I'm going to kill him if he comes back into my care. And Nadia Khan and Sanjeev Singh and Dr. Shaukat Ali determined that he has got mental capacity to be discharged into my care. Over and over and over again, you know, he's been demonstrating that he has mental capacity. You've got one report from Barry Fitzgerald, which was commissioned by Adalat, which has later been discredited, that he lacks mental capacity. That's the only report that you got, and that was in 2017. 2017 was that when your report you got. Subsequently, that report has no validity because in 2019, Vasina Brown has determined that he does have capacity. So, you know, here we are in this situation now. Tell us what do we do now? Where do we go from here? You're not willing to accept. I'm just at a loss. You know, you're just basically saying computer says no, we're not going to deal with you anymore. We're not going to deal with this situation. We're quite happy as the situation stands because we're saving money in excess of £600 a week. We're making money. because we're getting all his benefit money and we're not giving you that maybe £250 or maybe £300 in benefit money. So, you know, you're basically making around about £1,000 a week off Talib, aren't you? £600-700 in care, saving care costs. You're accumulating about maybe £300-400 in his benefit money a week, and so you're not required to do anything. And I've told you, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy for the status quo to remain as well, because every week that goes by, I'm charging you £1 million whether you accept it or not, because none of this makes sense. Talib's in my care. I'm providing with support services, ongoing support services. You're looking to make him homeless. You're looking to get us kicked out of this house. You've got no involvement in Talib. Talib told you he wants nothing further to do with you. So, Mr. Browell, where do we go from here? Once again, you know, I'm sure you want to get off. I want to get off too now. Where do we leave things?
So you said I can call you in a couple of weeks.
For what? For what purpose?
Leave it a bit longer.
No, but for what purpose? You can call me in 2 weeks to find out if he's dead.
No, not at all.
No,
but I said we can leave it more 3 or 4 weeks if that would suit better.
But what? Look, the reason I'm calling you is because there was a purpose to it. That purpose was Talib asked you when you came down to visit him, all right, and he asked you what's my balance, all right. That was in May. I think in May. Yeah, you came down in May. That's why I'm talking to you, to determine what balances you got, trying to resolve things. So, what would be the point of calling in a 4 weeks time? Is it the case that you want to wait until 4 weeks time so we can say, yeah, we accept the money?
No, but if at any point you know Talib changes his mind on that, then you know.
Mr. Browell, look, with respect, Mr. Browell, we told you that is not going to happen. All right, it's not going to happen. You know, all right, we will accept the money then. All right, let's compromise. We will accept the £250. But in order for us to accept the £250, we need a letter from Bradford Council stating that you accept, Bradford Council accept that he's got mental capacity. How's that?
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to answer that. It wouldn't, if that would be accepted, but I would have thought that they'd say that Talib's capacity would need to be assessed by Dr. Todd or...
No, it's already been assessed. It's already been assessed, isn't it? So why, under what, sir, if he lacks mental capacity, then how does he have capacity to accept £250? You know, like, come on, let's look at this. On the one hand, you're saying we want it to establish that he lacks mental capacity. We don't want to tell him what his balance is. But then you're saying the fact that does he have mental capacity to accept £250?
I don't think he needs capacity to accept £250. It's his money.
He does not need mental capacity to accept the money.
I don't think that would change whether he can accept that money or not.
Okay, all right. So he does not need mental capacity to assess his money. So why does he need to carry out a mental capacity assessment then?
I think that's with regards to the responsibility for managing Talib's finances, whether he could manage his own finances himself, and if not, then who would be the best person to manage his finances. So
what are you? Wait a minute. He does not need mental capacity to assess his money. So when he gets the money, you're giving him £250, and he does not need to get assessed with that. All right. For argument's sake, if you were to hand him over £100,000, would he need to have a mental capacity to assess how he's going to manage the £100,000?
I think that would be wise.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So you've determined. So where is it? Is it what about £10,000?
I don't know. Yes, probably.
All right. What about £5,000?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. It depends what the context of it was.
So let me get this right. Let me get this right. So in order for Talib to accept £250 a week, he does not need to get mental capacity assessed. But if he was to get £10,000 a week, he would have to get mental capacity assessed.
I would imagine with, as you say, whether the right concerns or not, whether there were concerns about the management of Talib's money, that if he was given a large amount of money, that...
But what's a large amount of money?
Well, that, you know, £1,000 can be a large amount
Yeah.
of money.
Yeah, £1,000 can be a large amount. So if accepting that £1,000 is a large amount of money a week, if Talib was to be given £1,000 a week, would he need to have a mental capacity assessment to determine how he can manage that £1,000 a week?
I don't know. My own personal opinion is no, but I'm not. Yeah.
You know what is
really,
you know what is Mr. Browell? You're talking complete rubbish here. My brother's mental capacity has got nothing to do with the amount of money that he receives. All right, it's got nothing to do with that. Number one, and number two is that with regards to managing his money, many people that have money hand their money over to financial managers and stuff. My brother does, it is about you, the local authority, that recognizing that Talib's got a lot of money. You want to manage his money. You're saying you're better suited to manage his money because you, the local authority, have criminally convicted me of managing his money when I was doing an excellent job, and you're now saving money. This is just making a mockery of the law. The reality is this, that my brother has mental capacity. It's not in one particular domain or another particular domain. Like, for example, he has mental capacity to decide his residency. He does not have a mental capacity regarding this. First of all, you have to establish whether he comes under the jurisdiction of, does this person lack mental capacity in the general term? No, he doesn't. Even if he does, even in the general term, if he gets established that, generally speaking, because he has dementia or because he has schizophrenia, this person lacks mental capacity. If he gets assessed as lacking mental capacity, but it's not like a win-all situation, then you have to determine on a piecemeal basis that, okay, generally speaking, the person lacks mental capacity, but on this particular thing, does he have capacity? So you then have to do further capacity assessments. What you've done is you've said that because he's got schizophrenia, he generally lacks mental capacity, and now we look at each individual circumstance, like the £250. Can he manage that? Can he not manage it? £1,000? Can he manage? You've really turned the law upside down on its head. We don't even accept that he lacks mental capacity, that he should be assessed at. Just like nobody else gets assessed. Yeah, I'm not getting assessed for my mental capacity. All right, neither are you, neither is anybody else, because we are assumed to have mental capacity. You're denying Talib the assumption that he has mental capacity. And over and over again, he's demonstrated that he has mental capacity. He has mental capacity. This issue was raised with Dr. Dixon in January 2019 when he was discharged, that to resolve this issue. You, the council, don't want to resolve this issue because the only acceptable answer to the question, does my brother Talib has mental capacity, is the answer, no, he doesn't. And when you say no, he doesn't, a vulnerable person who does not have mental capacity, then you, the council, say, well, we're going to take charge. We're the only person responsible to take charge. In the past, you, the local authority, have looked to remove me even as his nearest relative. But the money situation aside, the bottom line is this: we cannot move forward unless you, the local authority, accepts that my brother has mental capacity. If you don't accept that he has mental capacity and he dies, then that's all on you. That's you. You're basically weaponizing his mental capacity to his detriment. Because Nadia Khan has accepted that he has mental capacity to be discharged into my care when I've threatened to murder him. Vasina Brown has determined that he has mental capacity to make decisions where he wants to reside. If my brother has the same faculty to make decisions of where he wants to reside, my brother has the same faculty to decide who should take care of his finances. my brother's made with that same faculty that he's made the decision, that has been assessed as being discharged into my care from hospital, with the same faculty that he's used to determine where he wants to reside in Oldham or not, with that same faculty.
I've just got to take a phone call quickly. Stay on the phone. Please hold. Hi, Shazad.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, like I was saying,
Hello,
with the same faculty that you've assessed him as having mental capacity to make the from hospital into my care, with the same faculty that Vicina Bazoun has assessed him in 2019, in March, April 2019, that he can not to 2020. I think 2019, that he can reside in, with, is that same faculty that he's made the decision that I should be in charge of his finances. So you've already assessed him as having faculty. What underlying thing is preventing him from having mental capacity? Can you tell, you deal with other patients? Does schizophrenia equate to lacking mental capacity?
No.
All right.
It can be it can be a kind of a disturbance of the mind that can lead to the person lacking mental capacity.
It can be. Yeah, it does not automatically equate to that. He has a disturbance of the mind. I accept that. Nobody's denying that. So what is it that's, what is it that you've established that is avoiding the assumption of him having capacity?
What is it?
What have you established that challenges the legal assumption that him and everybody else should have been assumed to have capacity? Is it because
capacity is assessed. Someone's capacity would need to be assessed.
Okay. No, but no, my capacity doesn't need to be assessed. Your capacity doesn't need to be assessed, does it?
No.
Why does Talib's capacity need to be assessed?
If it's thought that a person doesn't have the capacity to make certain decisions for themselves.
No, but I don't need a capacity assessment, do I? You don't need a capacity assessment. Why does Talib need a capacity assessment?
It depends what it's with regards to, but if it's with regards to his money, it's whether he can make the decisions about how his money is managed and how he can spend his money, or whether he can, for example, ask you to manage his money or someone else.
Okay. But the question that I'm trying to say is this: that I'm not subjected to a mental capacity assessment because I'm assumed to have mental capacity. You're not subjected to a mental capacity assessment because you're assumed to have mental capacity. Everybody is not assessed that gets money in order to hire, for a mental capacity assessment. I'm sure, yeah. So why is Talib not assumed to have mental capacity?
I think because there were concerns about how his money was being managed, where his money was, how his money was being spent. So
okay, all right. No, but
questioning or needing his capacity to be assessed.
No, Mr. Browell. The question here is that, all right, maybe somebody was stealing his money. That does not impinge on his mental capacity. The question I'm asking you is this: that the law states that you should assume that everybody has mental capacity. I don't get assessed to have a mental capacity assessment regarding my finances because I'm assumed to have mental capacity. You don't get assumed to. You're assumed to have mental capacity. So you don't regarding your finances. Now, with regards to Talib, you're saying that Talib needs to have a mental capacity assessment because somebody's been stealing money from him. But just because somebody's stealing money from him does not take the assumption away that he should be assumed to have mental capacity. Help me understand why Talib is not assumed to have mental capacity.
pleading from his diagnosis of schizophrenia.
Oh,
and
yes.
pleading from his ability to, he needs to be cared for, whether that's by himself or in the past he's been cared for by maybe a care agency and things like that. So it's to do with whether he's able to look after his care needs and his finances himself, and for whatever reason that's been called into question.
No, but the question I'm asking is, why is Talib assumed not to have mental capacity? And your answer is because he's got schizophrenia and because people are providing him with care. All right? But,
okay, so there would need to be a capacity assessment at some point where he's assessed not to have capacity.
but that's not happened, has it?
As far as I'm aware, it has.
Oh, all right. So Talib has been assessed as having lacking mental capacity.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
Again, I wasn't involved.
Okay, all right. So that's news to me.
That phone call that I just had to put on hold, I asked them to call me back in 10 minutes.
Okay, all right.
Call at any point.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So I've asked you this question before, and you've told me a different answer. Now you're telling me that there has been a mental capacity done to establish that Talib lacks mental capacity.
Are you saying that there isn't? I said that the matter's gone to court, hasn't it? Yeah.
No. I said you said that there's a mental capacity carried out that says that it lacks mental capacity. Which one are you referring to?
Did you mention that there was a capacity assessment by someone?
Barry Fitzgerald?
Right, okay.
So are you saying that is the reason why, because somebody, a discredited capacity assessment, all right, that's why now we're assuming that he lacks mental capacity? I'm just really other than Barry Fitzgerald, are you aware of any other capacity assessment carried out that says that he lacks capacity?
I'm not aware of any, no, but as I say, I wasn't involved in the case.
Okay. Because look, the bottom line is that, several years later, we're still on this issue of mental capacity. Whatever Barry Fitzgerald did in 2017, whatever other assessments were carried out whilst he was in your care and custody from August 2018 to December 2018, they have already been superseded by further capacity assessments carried out in the positive. Namely, Vicina Brown carried out a capacity assessment regarding his residency in 2019. Furthermore, a capacity in August 2021, a further capacity assessment has been carried out that he does have mental capacity by, privately by Nelly Support Services. So, Mr. Browell, please tell me, you and me, we can't even establish that he's got mental capacity. All right? And then all these other things that you're doing. Mr. Barry Fitzgerald carried out a capacity assessment in 2017. Had it ever been established before that he lacks mental capacity for you to take criminal proceedings against me on behalf of Talib?
I don't know the details of the case.
Yeah, I understand, Mr. Look, but the reality is that I've been calling you to help Talib get a balance so I can tell him that this money you got. I'm not going to have to tell him, they're not going to tell you what money we've got. So why should we contact you again?
Well, that'll be up to you. That's up to you, Shazad. That's up to you.
Yeah, so but you wrote a letter to Talib. You told her, remember 3 things you asked about Talib. You said, oh, do you want your money? We can help you get your money. We want to help you get registered with the GP. And I can't remember what the 3rd thing was. But you wrote to us. Then you're not telling us who wrote to us. So how do I respond to that letter?
Let me know, or if you can send a letter back to where it's addressed.
Mr. Browell, the last time we spoke, you said I'm not going to get involved. Mr. Muller is going to write to us. to explain to Talib, why he can't get a balance. All right. So nobody's going to write to us regarding this. We want it in writing why Talib can't have access to his balance. You're saying this, because we're an appointee, we don't need to tell him things. So you can embezzle his money as his appointee, and nobody's any the wiser. I was his appointee, and I had to tell. And you're telling me I didn't have to tell him this. And how can you convict me? It doesn't make any sense. You're not going to write. The financial team are not going to write to us. Basically, you're just going to keep his money. All right, and you try to take over you're trying to take over one of his houses that's in my name. All right, and you just basically find. Yeah, I understand this, but so we won't be speaking next then.
No, we can leave it if you want. It's up to you.
Yeah, but there's no need to speak to you, is there? There's no need for the. Yeah, so you've got his money. You basically fucked him over, fucked me over, fucked my mother over, fucked our family over, and now you're saying we can just leave it now. We can just leave it the situation. While every week you're saving in excess of £1,000.
I don't have the answers that you want.
So why can't why? So why? Yeah, you don't have the answers because you're an inappropriate person to be assigned to Talib's case. He's been discharged from the city mental health team. All right, we cannot make any progress on this. He ideally needs to go back to the unallocated social worker who I can speak to, or alternatively, we need to speak to somebody more senior. But nobody, you're not willing to do any of this stuff. All right. You're just basically saying, well, we've done what we wanted to do. We've destroyed you and your family. We've basically financially plundered and profited, and now we're not willing to do anything. All right? Because why can't I speak to somebody more senior? Somebody who wrote the letter. You're not even telling me who wrote the letter. Every week that goes by is a week that my brother's not getting access to any money. He's not getting access to any healthcare services. He's a vulnerable adult, and all you want to do is monitor the situation. Mr. Browell, I'm exasperated, and I'm sure, like you're an intelligent person too, that you're basically screwing us over. You, the council, are basically just screwing us over. You murdered our mother, you murdered our father, you've murdered one of our brothers, and now you're just trying to exploit money out of us. Why can't I speak to Kirsten England? Why not? Who's the decision maker then?
I don't know. I need to get off the phone at this point. It's been an hour and a half now. So.
Look at me, and what have we achieved? That hour and a half you got paid for. You got paid for this hour and a half, haven't you?
Yeah.
I've not got paid for ever.
No.
So I've just wasted my time. Nothing's got resolved, has it?
No, it hasn't.
Not one. An hour and a half later, not one thing has got resolved. I've wasted my time. You're not going to give us any money. You've taken £1,000 from my bedroom. You've taken my mum's jewelry from my bedroom. You're not going to give us that back. You've taken £1,000 from my bedroom. You've just basically robbed us, haven't you? You, the Bradford Council, have just robbed us. All right, stolen from us, and you're trying to put my brother on medication that he doesn't need, saying he's paranoid, schizophrenic, he's diabetic. We're trying to help him. You're not trying to help anybody. You're just trying to exploit money from the public purse in order to justify your own wages. That's all it is. You wanna utilize me and my brother in order to make us mules in order to advance your careers. All of you. That's what. Not just you, everybody else involved. Nobody's helping my brother Talib other than me. I'm the only one that's caring for him. I'm the one that's providing him with 24-hour care and support. He's, requiring so much support from me.
I need to get off the phone. I'm sorry, but I've got another phone call.
Okay, Mr. Browell. Well, like I said, we have not made any progress, and I see no reason to call you again.
All right.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Absolutely banging my head against a brick wall, right? Not willing to do anything, not willing to say anything, just listen to what you're saying, and we're just gonna waste your time. We're just gonna, mull along with it. He's accepted that they're saving over £600 a week that they would be otherwise paying, They want me to do that for free because I'm such a nice guy. At the same time, they made me into a bad guy where they're criminalizing me and saying that I've been defrauding my brother money so they can make. It's all just one big con in it, one big fraud. All right, just trying to make a monkey out of us and trying to, yeah, absolutely pathetic. All right, just screwed us over, wasted my time. I've got other better things to be doing than dealing with these people. I've got no reason to call him. They're basically saying, yeah, we got all your money. We're just going to pay the judges off to say that you lack capacity so we can take control and charge of the situation. We don't need to do anything, go anywhere, be anyone. Yeah, we are who we are. We're a local authority. You must learn to accept and respect us. We'll give you access to money. All right. So it's just basically pathetic, absolutely pathetic waste of my time and resources. All right, they're just sitting back and watching us fall and crumble. They don't want to. Every week that goes by is a week that my brother's not gonna have access to any money. All right, not one penny. All right, and they're waiting basically to. They're waiting for a crisis to happen. So when my brother dies, they say, look, it's your fault. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. Yeah, I don't have a duty of care. They do have a duty of care. They have a legal duty of care to my brother because he's out on a Section 117 Mental Health Act. They are legally bound to, act in his best interest and to facilitate support services. They don't want to liaise with it. And that's fair enough. You're basically telling me to do one. I'm telling you, you go do one. Yeah, it's £1 million a week. All right, and this is one of the reasons that is £1 million a week because I'm basically keeping Talib alive. You're trying to kill him off. You're trying to murder him off and say, look, oh, it was not our fault. We were doing the best thing that we could do under the limited resources that we've got. We want, the central government should give us more power, more dominance, so we can stand like this. And basically, yeah, just wasted our time. All right, wasted just robbed us, telling me to go get a solicitor, go get a judge, go take legal action so we can buy off the judges and buy off the judiciary and do all this other stuff. So yeah, just all right. You fuck off, I will fuck off. You understand? But you owe us money. That can't change. You owe me money. All right, I'm not doing this for free. I told you from day one. You basically conned us, robbed us. All right, blind as a local authority. Hence why you're the most dangerous city in the whole of Europe. All right, you are the most dangerous city in Europe because of this fact, not because of Asian people committing crimes. Is because you, the local authority, are the most dangerous in the whole of Europe because of your criminality. It's a criminal organization or a mafia cartel fascist dictatorship that's abusing and exploiting vulnerable people and buying off the judiciary and undermining the rule of law because they can get away with it. And they've been getting away with it for so long. And so this is it. Wasted another 1.5 hours that I can't afford to waste on these idiotic morons that are malevolently despicable and lying, cheating crooks. So yeah, I just feel exhausted after getting this guy to listen to us for 1.5 hours, just listening to me being anxious, anxiety. He's just sitting back saying, hey, we got the money. We don't care. Hey, we got your money. We don't care. We're getting paid. All right. You can scream and shout and bawl and swear and do whatever you want. But hey, man, we're in control. We're in money. We don't care. Basically go do one. He goes, yeah, if you don't want to call us, don't call us. We don't care. All right. It's all just a big one big con, one big fraud. All right, saying people got mental health problems. They're creating the mental health problems in order to make money. All right, and then they're saying, oh, we're acting out of benevolence. This is malevolence.